Well, okay, so I lied. We're going to go ahead and do another video tonight. We're going to go ahead and do ETH, my favorite. Okay. Um, I do think ETH has bottomed. I do think that we're in the process of, I think we put in a 1, a 2, a 1. Now we're putting in another 2. Kind of like Solana, right? We just did that. But let's dive in. All right, so I think what we've had so far, 1, 2. We get 1, 2, 1, flat into a 2. Get a bunch of mess up here. We get our 3, 4, 5 for a third. A deep 4. Admittedly deeper, much deeper than I want to see. We don't overlap, so I'm kind of going with it for now. We end up getting our third. Here's where things get a little fucky. And we get this crazy triangle that just kind of melts upwards, right? So we get the A, B, C, D, E. And then we get our fifth. Now, it's certainly not a pretty impulse by any means. But I think I've got something that I can put my hat on, at least for now. So the tricky bit comes up here next with this zigzag. Sure, there probably may be other ways to count it. I like to consider myself halfway decent at Elliott Wave, but by no means a master. Okay? So, in the big picture, I think we've had A, B, and we're putting in the C. That's the big picture. It was just awful fucky to get there. So, I think that we've had, so here's our A wave. And we get a W, X, and a Y for our B wave of our flat being in here. Definitely fucky. Because in here we get this three-way move. We get an A, B, C. We get a flat in the middle. We get our C. And then we get what appears to be an expanding diag for our A. We get our B. And then we get a regular impulse for our C. And I've seen some counts where people have got this as like a three-wave move, and I just don't understand how they can get that a three-wave move. To me, it's an impulse all day long. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 comes right back to the previous area of the previous four's degree, right? So, and then we get a beautiful, I wouldn't say it's beautiful, but it's an impulse to finish. Okay, maybe this is some sort of diag or something, and then 2, 3, and then we get a tiny fifth. Point is, to me, that's that's flat. So now I typically don't like my flats to go more than like 1, 6, 1, 8 area. It starts to get a little suspect. I like how it kind of starts trying to stop here. That's where on at least the 12-hour where our candles are. See, it's close on daily. Let's move on. Coming up next, for the C rundown, definitely a little suspect in this area right here. And the only way that I could quantify it is by saying that we had a 1, we get a flat in here for a 2, and then we start working on a diag, okay, for the wave 1 of the third, okay. Again, there could be another way to count this in here, just going by with what I feel that it is. It honestly kind of feels like when we were getting down here to the bottom that Ethereum was really just trying to move, which is exaggerating, everything. It just feels kind of odd. Again, maybe there's another count for it. That's what I got so far. So anyways, we come down. There are other exchanges that do not have this as the low. This is actually the low. I believe Bitstamp has this as the low. So this is what I'm actually going to go with. This is some liquidation event that happened, and can't always trust, these wicks like that. When you put this online, it looks much different. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with this for now. I do feel that we go into a triangle here, and then we finally get our fifth of our third. Clearly get a three-wave move. okay, to make our wave 4. Wave 4 certainly does go up a little bit more than I would like, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I mean, it crosses the 50, it almost touches the golden zone. But there's no overlap, nonetheless, you know, of our wave 1, which is all the way up here. So I'm calling it a 4. Now, on this last part, the only way that I can quantify this as actually being an impulse is if we get an ending diag here, okay? Would have to be. Because as we sit right now, coming off this high, we've had a 3-wave move, okay? It doesn't quite make the 1-to-1. You know, maybe there's a flat in the middle of here. Not sure. Doesn't really matter. I see a 3-wave move, okay? Bam, bam, bam. What precedes it is then a 3-wave move. So gut says we're going into a diag. We're probably going to come down here, touch the golden zone. Everybody's think it's time for liftoff, and we're going to go like that. That's what my gut's telling me. So there's some interesting targets down here in this area also. So when we're trying to channel, you know, a zigzag, for instance, this is typically how we would do it. So we've got the channel barrier sitting down here right at the golden zone, which is fantastic. We also have a algo target sitting right there in the golden zone as well. If we come off of this move, come to the low, well, guess what? We had a golden zone tag, and guess what? We have this algo target sitting right here, right in this area. Our channel is there. The golden zone is still there, right? And actually, you know what? I didn't think about it, but we could put a pitchfork on it and see if we could potentially... yeah. Okay, so if you've been part of Trade Devils, I think one thing that you've probably heard over and over and over again is that we have an 80% chance of making that median line when we tag a golden zone, right? Well, there's our 80% chance. It's right there. I totally forgot to even put that pitchfork on there. So we got another little spot of confluence. We can say, well, we've also got the pitchfork median there. So what is that, 3 now? 3 or 4? Okay. Well, we're going to go to one more little bit of confluence. As I was mentioning up here with this B, I don't really personally like to see my flats go beyond 1618. You know, I know that they happen, but whatever. Well, right there. Guess what we also have? There's a 1618 extension sitting right on top of a 236, which is at our channel barrier, which is at our median line of our pitchfork, in a golden zone. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of confluence that are trying to tell us that 1450, nice round number, 1450 should be our target. No matter what, I'm gonna all in, right? No matter what, I'll take a paper cut loss on that much confluence. I will take it. Okay. So that's what I'm shooting for. There's one other thing to look at for confluence. There's actually a sixth level of confluence here. So let's go over here to a much larger pitchfork. So notice big pitchfork. Clearly, this fork is in play here. So we get the little fuck about right here. Okay. We get the little bit of play here, which is nice. I love seeing it come up and hit the median. Even if it falls, it's fine. I love seeing it come up and hit it. Then we get up in here. Look at all the testing going on here. Fall through, testing again. We tried to come back and test it, didn't quite make it. But look, test. All this is testing. Look how it's playing around the lines, right? We get above. Look at that wick. Right to the outside of it. Beautiful, right? Again, body of the candles are holding it. Trying to hold it. Fall through. Resistance again. Now it's support. And now we just start to fall back through. But look, again, every time we're trying to hold it. Now it's resistance. Trying to hold it. Holding it, holding it, holding it. Look at that. Holding this whole run up. This one pitchfork could have made you a ton of money if you were just had this on your chart and just decided to sell whenever we broke this line here. So anyways, and then we've been correcting. Well, look what's right there. So what did I say? 1450, right? I think that's about as close as I'm going to get. So right there, 1450. Huh. Pretty cool, huh? That's our 6th level of confluence. Granted, we may fuck about with this cloud trying to get ourselves above it, you know. But I would call that a 6th level of confluence right there. Now, of course, just because we have all this confluence, all of this could be completely wrong. Thank you, crypto. But, hey, it's good to have, you know, a lot of different reasons why you're going to make an entry somewhere. Frankly, if I'm wrong with that many levels of confluence, well, so be it. I guess I should just hang up my hat and call it a day. Anyway, so the next thing that we could do, of course, let's say we get this magical 1450. As you can see, I got an alert. Actually, I'm going to move that alert down some. Okay. The next thing that we need to do, of course, if this area here is our golden zone, we need to put another fork on this because what did we just say? The best odds, 80%, right? Somewhere around there. So we got an 80% odd of making it back up here to this median line of this pitchfork. But personally, I think it's more like this. I think it's more like 1, 2, 3. We'll bounce off the fork somewhere up here and hit our 5th to actually complete our 3rd here. And we'll hit 4 and 5. You know, this thing could, of course, extend even more. Or it could extend less. For all we know, this is 1, 2, you know, 1, 2. Maybe we get another 1, 2 out. Another 1, 2 out of this. You know, we don't know what's going to happen after this. But I'm going to tell you right now that if you miss this fucking buy down here, I'm going to reach my arms through the fucking computer and smack you to death with a keyboard. Okay? Because there's no reason not to take this trade. On a higher time frame, okay? There's no reason not to take this trade. Look at that 3-day RSI is low. It's still weekly telling us. Weekly we bounced off to 50%. Oh, look at this. Come on, guys. We gotta be getting some of this, right? This could be a very beautiful move up. Anyway, that's where I'm kind of sitting for now, guys. I really hope this turns into a diag. It really feels like it's going to. We're just going to have to watch our levels and be ready. Watch for any divergences and see what happens. Anyway, this time I'm not going to say that I won't make another video. Maybe I will. I'm having a little bit of fun with myself. I don't actually get an opportunity to just relax and play around, not at least for the last year almost. I know it's been at least 6 months since I made a video. But anyway, you guys have a great night. Keep an eye on that 1450. Let's see what happens when we get down here. Certainly going to be very interesting. And hopefully it's some sort of a start to our next run. Would be absolutely fantastic. All right, you guys have a great night. Trade safe. Take care.